Alright, how's it going, everybody? Alright, tonight we are continuing our playthrough of Fate Stay Night Remastered, the Unlimited Bladeworks route. So, how's it? Everyone looking forward to Thanksgiving tomorrow? How's it? Did anyone out there get the participate in the Stark Dash GSSR? Who'd you want? And if you did, who'd you wind up getting? I wound up getting my 6th copy of Musashi. So my very been playing since day one. And I just got my first unregistered Spirit Origin. So let's continue where we left off with this game, shall we? I walk through the darkened town. It's not yet 7 p.m., so there are still people around. I don't think an escort is necessary, but I have no reason to turn down her goodwill. But maybe I should have declined. I feel on edge. The goosebumps on my skin are going crazy, and I feel like I'll hurl from the tension. I feel hostility piercing my back. The invisible guard is the most cautious, the person he's supposed to be protecting. What kind of protection is this? The sensation is being caused by him. My very nerves are being worn out by this guy behind me. Around here is fine. Things might end up like last time if you get any closer. I tell the presence behind me. Archer doesn't answer. He just accepts my complaint and tries to leave. Hold on. Don't you have something you want to say? I glare at the invisible guy. The presence trying to leave stops. He takes form, with his hostility still present.
見直したよ。殺気を感じ取れる程度には心得があるらしい。いや、てっきり虫も殺さない平和主義者だと思っていたが。
Don't mock me. I'm still a mage. If my enemy wants to fight, I'll fight. I confront the knight in red with all my might so I don't get overpowered. He gives me a mocking smirk and shrugs.
たわけたこと。血の匂いがしない魔術師など半人前だ。死にそう教わらなかったのか、エミやシロ。
What? My spirit weakens. Yeah, Kiritsugu certainly said so. Mages are stained with blood. It doesn't matter whether you hurt others or not. Even if you don't do it yourself, the path moving forward is paved with blood. That's why Kiritsugu said not to become a mage. Are you saying you don't smell blood on me?
無論だ。その点においてもエミやシロはマスターには向いていない。リンとは大違いだな。
What do you mean? Are you saying that you could smell blood on Tosaka?
するとも。あれはいささか甘すぎる嫌いはあるが、それでも手を下すときは容赦すまい。そうでなくては連日マスターを探して街を巡回などしないさ。
Looking around for masters every day? That means she's fighting other masters. It's not like she's done once she finds them. Then so, Tosaka is doing stuff like what happened today all the time? The incident at school. The same thing as what happened in the woods?
まさか今日のような手たらくは今回限りにしてほしいものだ。あれだけの意志と能力を持った魔術師がお前を相手にするとどうも年相応に戻ってしまう。だいたい彼女の能力ならエミやシロと協力する必要などないのだ。にもかかわらず余分なことをしている。私としては協力など反対なのだが、 まあ仕方があるまい。サーバントはマスターに従うものだ。そうだろエミやシロ。たとえマスターが役に立たない未熟者でもサーバントは従わなければならないということだ。
Oh, you have no idea how hard it is. I'd swear he's talking about me and Saber. I see. I feel bad for Tosaka having to partner with such a cynical guy.
まったく呆れる。まだそんなことを口にするのか。忠告するがサーバントの性格など考慮するな。我らはただ戦うために呼び出された者。所詮サーバントは霊樹で繋がれた道具に過ぎない。支配権はお前たちにあるのだから道具のざれ言など聞き流す。
I can't tell him that's not the case. What Archer, who is bound as such, said is the truth. I can't think of Saber as a tool, but it is true that Saber is bound by the command spells.
で呼び止めた要件は何だ。まさか親睦を深めようなどとふざけた理由ではあるまい。
There's no reason. I just don't like him, so I needed to complain. Oh yeah, Archer, do you want the Holy Grail too? I ask an obvious question in desperation. Then,
聖杯？はあ、人間の望みを叶えるという悪質な宝箱か。興味はないな。私の望みはそんなものでは叶えられまい。
the knight in red so declares, his disdain obvious. What? That's contradictory. Servants desire the Holy Grail. Isn't that why they answer the call of their mage? Isn't that why they answer the call of their mage and become a servant? Wait, that's messed up. Why else would you become a servant?
成り行き上仕方なくだ。私に自由意志などない。お前はサーバントが自らの意志で呼び出しに応じているとでも思っているのだろうがな。
What? Don't have free will? Does that mean that he was called against his will even though he's not interested in the Holy Grail?
幸せな男だ。本当に考えたことはなかったのか。いいか。サーバントとは呼び出されるものだ。いいな。英霊とは全て自らの意志ではなく他者の意志によって呼び出される。過去の功績によって英霊となり以後は人々の間で語り継がれその支えになるものだが、その当の英霊自身が心の底から人間の助けになりたいなどと思っていると。
No, that's why they have a wish for the Holy Grail themselves. So what's your deal? Well, I don't know. If they are called heroic spirits, they must be noble to some degree. That's why I have the impression of them protecting people. But that's not the case for many of the servants that I've encountered.
そうだ。もともと英霊というものに意志などない。英霊となったものは以後ただ人間を守る力として置かれるだけだ。何かこちらで不都合があった場合のみ呼び出されその後始末をして消えるだけの存在。あるがないもの。人の世の危機を救おうが誰にも認識されないもの。それが英霊。なってしまったが最後意志を剥奪され永遠に人間のために働き続ける掃除屋に過ぎん。
What? Summoned only to disappear? Heroic spirits are tools without a will? That can't be true. You and Saber both have your own will. Well, you might have been summoned against your will, but don't you have a choice after you've been summoned? Like how Saber turns down things that she doesn't want to do.
当然だろう。我々はサーバントだ。誰が作ったシステムだか知らんが、この戦いはよくできている。本来、本体からの触覚でしかない英霊に形を与え、本体そのものとして刺激するのだからな。サーバントという殻を与えられた英霊は、その時点で元の人間性を取り戻せる。かつての執念ゆえに、サーバントは聖杯を求めるのだろうよ。聖杯を得れば、叶わなかった無念を晴らせるだろうし、短い時間であれ、人間としてこの世界にとどまれるのだから。
Stay here as humans. That must mean they can be free as an individual and not as a servant. In addition, the Holy Grail has the power to grant wishes. If it means that they can grant the wish they had before they died, then it makes sense for servants to cooperate with their masters. So the Holy Grail is a miracle that came out of nowhere to the heroic spirits as well. Then why? You said you don't need something like the Grail, but you can fulfill a wish that couldn't come true, and you can quit being a servant.
単純な話だ。私には叶えられない願いなどなかった。
Huh?
他の連中とは違う。私は望みを叶えて死に、英霊となった。故に、叶えたい望みなどないし、人としてここに留まることにも興味はない。それは、お前のサーバントも同じだろうさ。
Don't be stupid! Saber said she needed the Holy Grail. She's not like you, a servant with no objective.
私の目的。
Archer murmurs, stunned. I wonder why. He was just muttering to himself, but I felt a chill.
目的があろうとなかろうと同じだ。気になるのならば問いただしてみるがいい。セイバーの目的は聖杯でありながら、決して聖杯を自分のためには使わない。そういった意味で、あれは典型的なそのことを。彼女のマスターであるのなら、決して忘れないことだ。
His presence disappears. The Knight in Red hurls spiteful remarks until the very end as he leaves. I'm home! Even though I don't really feel it, I try to carry on with the normal routine. It feels like a lot is going on in the living room. I bet Fujine is watching TV and Sakura is preparing dinner. Saber, is she in the living room? I shake my head when Archer's words flash through my mind. I don't know what he wanted to say, nor do I want to know. But it's stuck in my head and I can't ignore it. A familiar called a servant. His honest opinion, scorning heroic spirits like they're merely a cleanup crew. Thanks. Sorry I'm late. How much of dinner's done?
まだ始めたばかりです。でも、先輩のお手を借りることはないと思いますよ。今晩のメニュー、藤村先生のリクエストでシチューなんです。
I see. Yeah, I can't help with that. I see that all the ingredients are cut up already. Sakura's a fiction, so surely all that's left is to simmer them. Where's Saber? I don't see her in the living room.
セイバーさんでしたら和室の方で眠っています。先輩が帰ってきたら起こしてほしいと言っていましたけど。
Was she mad?
そんなことはなかったと思いますよ。セイバーさん。 いつもキッとしてますから。
If Sakura's hesitant to say it, it must mean Saber was really mad. It's only natural though, since I broke our promise of coming home before dark.
や、おかえりしろ。セイバーちゃん怒ってたよ。帰ってきたら道場で話があるって。
Fujine makes a frightening statement while munching on a mandarin. Fujine, you didn't drill anything weird into Saber's head, right? Like a person who breaks a promise should be punished by getting beaten with a shinai or something?
したよ。うちは体育会系だから容赦なくやっちゃっていいって。
I see. The other masters aren't my only problem. An enemy force has already infiltrated my home. This is off topic, but did you take Saber to the dojo? Did you tell her to use a shinai if she wanted to practice?
うん。さっき軽く手合わせしたんだけど、あの子とんでもないわよ。剣道を知らないくせに私以上に剣道家っぽいんだもん。あの子向こうでフェンシングでもやってたの？
I don't think so. I think she is actually a lot like you. Like how she swings around a huge sword that doesn't suit her frame, or how she attacks enemies like a wild animal. Oh well, I'll accept my punishment since it's my fault. By the way, about Mitsuzuri, do you know if she's home or not?
え？なんでシロが知ってるのよ。三辻さんのことは知らされていないはずよ。
Yeah, I heard about it in the student council room. So how about it? Did anyone find Mitsuzuri? I stare at Fujine. Fujine is still a teacher, even if she may not seem like one. She keeps quiet about things she shouldn't talk about, and I'm sure she'd lie to keep students calm. So I have to make sure I don't overlook anything she says or does when it comes to this. So, Fujine, has nothing changed?
仕方ないなあ。黙ってたら今すぐ飛び出しそうだし、絶対秘密って話でもないし。けどシロ、今回は特別だからね。シロが三辻さんの友人だから教えてあげるのよ。
I know. I'll owe you one, so tell me already.
じゃあ結論から。三辻さん、さっき保護されたわよ。今頃は検査も終わって家に帰ってるんじゃないかしら。ちょっと意識が混濁してるらしいけど、外傷もないし命に別状もないって。それ以上の話はダメ。シロも友達なら三辻さん本人から聞きなさい。
I see. So it wasn't serious, huh? I'm glad. I still don't know what Mitsuzuri got into, but I can tell that it has something to do with the strange incidents happening in town. There's a high possibility that the culprit is the master hiding at my school. I don't know what I would have done if something happened to Mitsuzuri. Oh yeah, Sakura, can I talk to you for a bit?
はい。何ですか、先輩。
Well, it's nothing much. I was just wondering if you knew what Shinji is up to.
すみません、先輩。昨日はこちらに泊めてもらって学校に行ったでしょ。だから家には帰ってないんです。先生にも兄さんが無断欠席したって聞いたんですけど、
So you don't know the situation, huh? Yeah, there's no way that you would know. Sorry, dumb question.
いえ、そんなことありません。兄さんのことは私が一番よく知っているんですから。兄さんが休んだ理由ぐらい気づかないといけないでしょ。
No, that's not your responsibility. Besides, it really helps to have you here. The incident in the woods. If the one that was there was actually Shinji, then he has to have some kind of connection to the servant in black. Worst case scenario, there's a possibility that he's the master. If that's the case, wouldn't it be dangerous to let Sakura go back to the Mato household?
先輩、それはどういう...
Sakura, spend the night here tonight. You can use Fujine's clothes if you don't have spares.
先輩、それは
I'd feel better about it if you could stay here for a while if you can. Well, you could go home if it's really that much of a pain. Oh. Right, this is really coming out of nowhere for her. It really puts her on the spot, too. Sorry for being so pushy about this. I bow my head in apology. Then...
はい。お言葉に甘えます。
Sakura nods in agreement so quietly that it blends in with the sound of the brewing stew. It's getting late. After dinner, I went to the dojo with Saber to receive punishment. Saber called it training, but I swear she was just bullying me. And when we finished, it was past 10 p.m. The three of them are rooming together again, and Fujine and Sakura are already turned in.
シロ、どうしました？部屋に戻るのではないのですか？
Yeah, I'll go, but there's something I wanted to ask you before that.
気になることですか？どうぞ。私に答えられることであれば構いませんが。
I guess I should get straight to the point. What Archer said. Servants who have no freedom desire the Holy Grail to obtain freedom. Saber should be the same, but he said that she doesn't seek freedom. Saber, you need the Holy Grail, right?
はい。私の目的は聖杯です。そのために私は英霊になった。それは以前にも話したはずですが。
I know, but for what? Servants who obtain the Holy Grail can stay in this world without a master, right? Then you're going to obtain the Holy Grail and do what you wanted to do here, right?
いいえ。聖杯を手に入れた後、私はこの世界から去るだけです。この時代の人間ではない私がここにいることは許されませんし、何より私にはやりたいことなどありませんから。
Her eyes are determined. There's absolutely no hesitation and deceit in them, and no room for me to argue the point. I see. I can't say anything since I don't know what your objective is, but... well, I'm starting to think that it's unlike Saber to ask for a wish from the Holy Grail. I don't know what the Holy Grail is, but I have a feeling deep down that it isn't the sort of thing this golden-haired girl ought to pursue. But I did promise that we'd obtain the Holy Grail. I'll believe your words for now.
何かあったのですか、シロ。どうも帰ってきてからのあなたは覇気がないように思いますが。
Yeah, you beating me up didn't help. That's not true. Oh yeah, Saber, about our plans moving forward. Saber looks serious again. As expected of her, no matter how close she gets with Fujine, Saber is still Saber. It's annoying, but just as Archer said, fighting is her true nature. I went to school today and found out there's a third master. Then I had a quarrel with Tosaka. A lot happened. And then we ended up settling on a lot happened. And then we ended up settling on a truce until we can find the master hiding at our school. In a rush, I report what happened. Saber was listening with a serious face at first, but as the story went on, she started looking at me in dissatisfaction. Saber, are you opposed to cooperating with Tosaka?
いいえ。シロには知識がないのですから、リンから学ぶのは賛成です。ですが、そういった大事を決めたのならすぐに伝えてほしい。それと、できるのなら相談も。
With reproach in her tone, Saber stares me down. I'm ashamed of myself since she's absolutely right.
では、明日からはリンと協力して校舎を探索するのですね。
I guess that's how it'll be. I'll call you if we find something odd, so stand by here until then.
方針としては手ぬるいですが、シロが先頭になれるまではちょうどいいでしょう。当面は学校に結界を張ったマスターを追うのですね。
I nod. After thinking for a bit,
確認しますが、 学校に潜むマスターを倒した後はリンとの休戦協定は白紙に戻り、彼女とは敵同士に戻る。それに間違いはありませんね。
Saber asked to make sure. Well, I mean, I don't want the alliance to end, but she's made it perfectly clear that's exactly what's going to happen. I guess that's how it'll be, no matter how much I try to smooth this over. Tosaka would challenge me if I refuse to fight. When that happens, it'll just be more painful for Tosaka if I get killed without putting up a fight. Yeah, once we defeat the master hiding at school, I'll go back to making enemies with Tosaka. That's fine, right, Saber?
はい、それを理解してくれているのなら私からは何もありません。リンと協力し、シローの戦闘経験を増やすとしましょう。
Saber bows and dismisses herself. Battle is unavoidable as long as I'm a master. We will eventually face off as long as I'm alive. When that time comes, will I be able to fight against Tosaka as Saber said? Save the game. Yes. February 5th. Unlimited Blade Works. 6. Faker. I'm dreaming. Using a thin connected circuit like a blood vessel, I see a memory I can't reach. This was his memory. At least, it isn't mine. This is someone else's story. It's so long ago that he doesn't think about it. A memory so distant that he doesn't even try to recall it. A memory so old that he can't even remember it. They are the heavy shackles of a contract, set in stone, unable to be changed or retracted. It's not like he wanted anything. Rather, he was the type of person who could not stand many things. He could not stand if there was someone crying near him. He could not stand if there was someone hurt near him. He could not stand if there was someone dying near him. That was the only reason. And for only that reason, he tried to save everyone within view. He was so clumsy that it would make you nervous watching him. But he would accomplish it in the end and change many a fate. To that end, his life was full of blessedness. The awkward, inelegant battles he fought had meaning. For as much as he was hurt and stared down death, he was equally able to save people. But there was one pitfall there. Everyone within view. Yet you cannot wholly look upon yourself. So in the end, he was not able to save the most important person of all, himself. I don't know how it ended up like that. No, it should be the other way around. It was a wonder it didn't end up like that sooner. And so, there was a terrible disaster. Many people died, and many more faced death. There was nothing he alone could do. With so many deaths and inevitability before him, let me make a contract. I'll give you my life after death. I would take compensation now. Yes, he made a contract with a mysterious thing known as the world, throwing away himself to save all those living here. The birth of a hero. That's it. There's nothing after that. Even if he is called a hero, it doesn't change what he does. From the start, his objective wasn't to become a hero. He merely needed a hero's power as part of the process. Even then, his ending came quickly. A savior is nothing but a nuisance to those who are not saved. He understands his own powers and the extent of the world. He accepts there are those he can and cannot save. And so he wanted those within sight to be happy at least. Others decried it as hypocrisy. There were many who despised him for his narrow-mindedness. Even then, the way that he silently pursued his ideals was something he should have been proud of. But in the end, he faced an uncompensated death as per the contract. And in the end, he reached that place. He had friends and a lover, but cornered by his ideal, he lost it all. With no place to go, carrying the voices of resentment with him, he continued to fight. He knew of his fate heading towards death, but he used that to try to perform the miracles that were beyond his capacity. But that comes to an end. He arrives at the Hill of Swords. The end of his battle came on a mound with rusted, ownerless blades. Alone after all. Even then, there was nothing to regret if he was able to save everyone within view. He smiles with satisfaction and lets go of the sword. So who was this lover that he had? Inquiring minds want to know. My body feels heavy. I feel awful as I wake. I feel awful as I wake as I'm immediately assaulted by a headache. I wonder if it's because of my injury from yesterday. My right arm still slightly hurts. I mutter while getting up. It's already past 6 a.m. Crap, I should be making breakfast. I jump out of bed and change quickly. Fujine and Sakura have morning practice. They'll leave at 6:30 a.m., so I won't make it unless I hurry. After I see them off, I drink tea with Saber after breakfast. The morning goes by in a whirlwind, and before I know it, it's past 7 a.m. I'm gonna get going. Take care while I'm gone, Saber.
はい。シローも気をつけて。リンの助力があるとはいえ、無茶はしないように。
Yeah, I learned that from yesterday. I'll ask for your help if I go after an enemy. I wave goodbye to Saber and leave. The morning air is peaceful, but the school that I'm about to head to is completely different. All right. I brace myself as I go down the hill. Tosaku is a right and proper master. I need to step up or I'll just make a fool of myself. I greet my classmates as I get to my seat. Huh? Along the way, I make eye contact with an unexpected person and I'm momentarily at a loss for words. Are you serious? It's instinctive. I storm towards Shinji. Shinji, you...
やあエミヤ、どうしたんだよ。今朝は随分と物騒じゃないか。何？僕が休んでる時に何かあったの？
Cut it out! What did you do to Mitsuzuri?
三辻？ああ、綾子ね。何でも家出してたらしいじゃん。僕も今朝道場で聞いたよ。昨日信徒の方で見つかったんだってね。
None of this is funny, but Shinji laughs. The look in his eyes tells me he's delighted by mocking Mitsuzuri. Don't play dumb. You're the last person who talked to her. I'm asking you, what did you do to her there? I'm asking you, what did you do to her? I'm asking what you did to her then.
はあ？何をしたかって？ただの世間話だけど。それよりさ、聞いたかいエミヤ。綾子のやつ、そこいらの路地裏に転がってたんだぜ。フラフラでさ、制服もボロボロだったって話さ。いや、何があったか知らないけどさ、ちょっと聞き捨てならないよな。普段から選ぶってるあいつがさ、どんな風に捨てられてたか興味あるよね。どうしたんだよ、そんな怖い顔して。冗談だよ冗談、本気にするなって。それに綾子は保護されたんだろ。家で療養中だっけ。ま、あいつが帰ってくる頃には噂話も広まってるだろうから。 何かとやりづらくなるだろうけど。
Just a slight spoiler alert. But for those of you who've seen the anime, you're already in the know. There's one problem. There's one problem with the that I have with the Unlimited Blade Works route, or the Unlimited Blade Works route is my favorite of the three. But there's one problem that I have with it. It's that somehow this guy survives it all. Hey, are you saying you told everyone in the Kyoto Club about this?
さあね。けどもう1年の間じゃ有名だぜ。伝言ゲームじゃないけど、昨日のうちからくるくる回ってたらしいからさ。
I can feel my fists clenching and clamp down on the urge I'm feeling. Did he go around telling everyone such a story? Mitsuzuri is a girl. Everyone knows she's strong, but even so, regardless of how strong she is, rumors like that have a way of eating away at anybody. Did he go around telling everyone knowing that? It's being kept from everybody for a reason, but he's deliberately spreading rumors to hurt her. Shinji, you! I grab his shoulders.
そう睨むなよ。僕は知らないって言ってるだろ。身勝手な思いつきで言いがかりをつけると後悔するよ、エミヤ。
Shrugging out of my grip, Shinji goes to his seat. The homeroom bell rings. I can't stay standing here. With a glance at Shinji, I'm forced to make my way back to my seat. The day ends. School's over and the student body heads home in waves. I could have further interrogated Shinji, but I didn't have any kind of proof to corner him. Even if he was in the woods, I don't have anything if he just says he wasn't there. I need to find conclusive evidence first, then rub it in his face while shouting "Objection!" and pointing your finger. It's not certain whether he's a master or not, but there's no doubt that he has something to do with the incident of Mitsuzuri going missing. How to identify a master? I can only strip them and look for command spells, huh? Well, I'm sure no master is going to allow me to do that. It's almost time. I'm sure Tosaka must know of a good way. Stand from my desk. We already planned on meeting in the hall after school. I meet Tosaka and look around the whole school. According to her, there are several sigils that help set the bounded field throughout the school. Tosaka has already been erasing them for the past few days, but it seems that new sigils are created or keep coming back up, preventing her from completely eliminating the bounded field.
結界自体はもう貼られちゃってるから、私がやってることは効力を弱めているだけよ。それでもやらないよりはマシだし、不完全なうちは相手だって結界を発動させないでしょ。
So she says, Tosaka, can I ask you something? I call out after she eliminates the sigil hidden on the rooftop.
何？まだ屋上に違和感を感じるの？
Oh, no, this is about a different matter. There's nothing strange here anymore. I think we're done here.
そう。なら生きている時刻はほとんど消せたかな。
Wait, so we don't get the bit where where they're going around and actively finding the sigils? Shirou doesn't get to show off his amazing detection skills?
エミヤ君、魔力感知はできないくせに場所の異常には敏感なんだもの。まさかこんなに早く校舎内の時刻を消せるとは思わなかった。
That's it. Just a line of dialogue. That's all we get. Tosaka's in a good mood. Well, I'm glad I was able to be of help, but I don't feel up to it right now. Hey, Tosaka, can masters recognize other masters? Like, does their presence change even if their servant is hidden?
別にそんなことはないけど、そうね。何も細工をしなければマスターの識別はできるでしょうね。マスターはもともと魔術師がなるものだから、
魔力を探っていけば魔術師は見つけられる。加えてサーバントなんていう破格の使い魔と契約してるんだから、隠したって魔力は漏れるわ。エミヤ君は鈍感だから気がつかないけど、私だって魔力を残して歩いてる。魔術師が見たら一目で私がマスターだってわかるだろうし、私だってマスターを見れば識別できるんじゃないかな。
Really? But Tosaka, you didn't know that I was a mage. Why is that?
何？それ言っていいの？
Tosaka's voice shifts. I have a bad feeling about this. No, it's fine. I think I figured it out just now.
賢明ね。まあそういうことよ。魔術師じゃなくても微力な魔力を持つ人はいる。魔術師はね、一定以上の魔力を帯びたものしか魔術師って認めないの。
Yeah, I figured that was the case. Oh, then how about me now?
それが全然変わらないのよね。まあ不完全な召喚だったっていうし、傷を治す以外はセイバーとのつながりは薄いんでしょうね。まあエミヤ君は特例だからそういうこともありでしょう。
Then Shinji isn't a master. Even if I can't tell, Tosaka can identify a master just by... Even if I can't tell, Tosaka can... Even if I can't tell, Tosaka can identify a master just by looking at them. Man, my reading skills need work. Then she should be able to sense the lingering magical energy of Shinji's a master who formed a contract with the servant. Except he hasn't been in school. Except he hasn't been in school since the war started until now. Oh, you say that we have to look for masters, but it should be easy once we start. We just need to follow the trail of lingering magical energy, right?
そうでもないわよ。例えばの話、魔力を隠してしまう道具を持っていれば敵には悟られないもの。まあサーバントのデタラメな魔力を消せる道具なんて少ないでしょうから、そんなマスターはいないと思うけど。
Then even if someone near you is a master, you won't be able to detect them if they have a tool like that?
どうかな。ものによるけど、どんなに隠しても近くにいればわかると思う。サーバントと契約している以上、どうしても世界との摩擦は起きるから。身近にいてもマスターかどうかわからないってことは、そのマスターはサーバントを使っていないってことよ。まあ例外はあるかもしれないけど、9割方はそう考えて間違いないと思うわ。
We go back to the classroom. There weren't any clues we could find about other masters, but Tosca seemed satisfied that we were able to erase most of the sigils. She said something like the enemy won't be able to stand having their plans messed with so blatantly, so it won't be long before they give themselves away. You're patient. You said it won't be long, but we don't know how long it'll be from now, right?
そう？こんな結界を張るやつだもの。邪魔されて我慢できる性格じゃないわ。私の見立てでは明日よ。2度目は黙ってられない性格でしょ、こいつ。
So that's how it is?
そんなもんよ。さて、私は用事があるから先に帰るわ。明日の決戦に備えていろいろ買わなくちゃいけないし。それじゃあまた明日。それと今日は早めに帰りなさい。寄り道なんてしたらダメだからね。
Oh, you're worrying about me?
違うわよ。協力関係になったんだから勝手に脱落されちゃ予定が狂うじゃない。今のはそれだけのちょっとした確認事項。
Cinderella mode activate. She's babbling. But that contrast is how she is normally. But that contrast with how she is normally tells me just how flustered she is. Yeah. I think I'm starting to really get a bead on her.
ともかくエミヤ君は無防備すぎるんだから、あんまり軽率な行動はしないこと。 私は例外で、他の連中は即命を奪いに来るんだからね。
Tosaka looks away and tries to leave. Oh, seeing her leave, I suddenly... Tosaka, is Archer by your side right now too? I ask something meaningless.
いるけど何？あいつに話でもあるの？
Not that I can repeat. No, not really. I was just wondering if you two are getting along. Tosaka looks back at me in wonder at my sudden question. Then...
ははそういうこと。ええ、心配無用よ。あいつひねくれてるけどいいやつだもの。ああ見えても子供っぽいし、付き合っていく分には楽しいわ。
Snickering, Tosaka disappears down the stairs. I'm still not over what happened to Mitsuzuri, leading me to the archery range. It's set off from the other school buildings. It looks empty. Club activities are over, so I don't think I'll find anybody here. I guess I'll go home. I turn around and head to the gate. Beyond that, on the way to the exit, Shinji Mato stands there, as if to block my way.
いや、今頃お帰りかい？最近は物騒だから、生徒は速やかに下校するんじゃなかったっけ？
I don't have the confidence to stay calm and pacing Shinji here, so I try to ignore him and walk past.
友人に挨拶もできないぐらい疲れてるわけか。まったく。呪国潰しなんて地味なことしてるからそうなるんだよ。
He sounds like he's grinning. Hearing that, I immediately jump back and brace myself. Destroying sigils? For you to say that, then... I keep myself on alert and glare at Shinji.
ああ、そういうこと。お前がしらみつぶしにしてくれた結界はさ、僕が仕掛けた保険なんだぜ。それをあんな風に消されちゃ、こっちは怖くて学校に来れなくなるじゃないか。
I see. So this is how naive I am. When I saw him in the woods, I knew he was a master, but didn't try to confirm it because I wasn't prepared for the truth.
待てって。そう構えないでよ、エミヤ。うるさい遠坂もいなくなったし、男同士ゆっくり話し合おうじゃない。知っての通り、喧嘩は嫌いなんだよ、僕は。
Talk things over? You don't want to fight?
そんなのあるもんか。見たところ、エミヤもマスターなんてものに無理やりさせられたんだろ。僕もそれと同じでね、魔術師でもなければ戦う気もないっていうのにマスターにさせられたんだ。で、目下のところ誰とも戦わないで済む方法を探してる最中ってわけ。だからここでエミヤと争う気なんてないんだ。
I see. Then what's up with the bounded field? You're saying you don't want to fight even though you have that thing set up?
バカだな。あれは欲しいんだよ。学校には遠坂っていう根っからの魔術師がいるだろ。あいつはマスター同士の戦いに躊躇なんてしない。となると、魔術師じゃないマスターとしては防護策を持っておかないとやっていけないじゃないか。あの結界はそれだけのものだよ。誰かに襲われない限り発動させることはない。
At which point you would retaliate against every person in the building, innocent or not. His story makes sense. I still don't know the details behind whether Shinji really is a master or not, or how he got to this point. Did Tosaka not tell you what kind of bounded field it was, or what it would do once activated? But for now, I'll buy it. If Shinji says so, I should give him the benefit of the doubt. But before that, Shinji, are you the one who attacked the female student yesterday? I need to solve this problem.
昨日のことか。あれは仕方がなかったんだ。 僕のサーバントはじゃじゃ馬でね、放っておくと人を襲う。僕はマスターに選ばれただけの人間だ。遠坂みたいな本業じゃないんだから、言いつけを聞かせることも大変なんだよ。
Then what happened yesterday was just an accident, right? Your servant did it herself?
ああ、これからは気をつけるよ。僕も自分の住処で事件なんて起こしたくない。あいつには僕を守ることだけ徹底させるさ。
You swear that's true, Shinji?
ああ、嘘を言ってもしょうがないだろ。隠しておくこともできたのに、こうしてわざわざ告白してやったんだ。エミヤ、僕のことを疑ってただろう。むやみに襲われたら行き着くところまで行くしかなくなるからさ。先に僕は誰とも戦いたくはないからね。
I can't take what he says at full value. But if he really does want to avoid fighting, everything would work out. Okay, I'll believe you. If you're not going to do anything, I won't do anything to you either. Will that work for you?
いいね。エミヤにしては物分かりがいい。けどそれじゃあ困るんだ。こうやって話し合いに来たことをもう少し理解してくれないかな。
Shinji holds out his hand as if he wants to shake hands. So that
僕に
means...
協力しないかエミヤ。お前は知らないだろうけど、もともとマトウの家は魔術師の家系なんだ。まあ父の代で魔道は耐えていたけど、知識だけはまだ残っている。どうかな。素人のくせにマスターになった君にとっては頼りになる存在だろ。
The Mato line is a family of mages? Tosaka didn't say such a thing. No, she must have excluded him as an outsider if the blood died out just as Shinji said.
どう？遠坂に頼らなくても僕たちが手を組めば聖杯戦争ぐらい生き残れる。こんなの考えるまでもないと思うけど。
He holds out his hand. His proposal isn't wrong. It makes sense, and it's an option. However, Shinji, does Sakura know that you're a master?
はあ？なんだ。本当に素人なんだな、エミヤ。いいかい？魔術師の家系は長男にしか秘技を伝えないんだ。長男以外の子供なんてただの予備に過ぎない。そんなのに魔術を伝える意味はないし、手間も惜しいんだよ。たく、あんなとろい女に魔道を伝えるもんか。魔頭の秘技を継いだのは僕だけだ。
I see. It's really good. Sakura isn't someone who should be involved in all this. I need her to be smiling happily in life. Shinji, if you promise not to do anything, then I won't do anything to you either. There isn't a problem with that. There isn't a problem with it like that, right?
そう。協力はできないってこと？
There's no need to, right? If we both aren't going to fight each other, there's no need to cooperate. If you only want to protect yourself, then you should have the church take care of you until the Holy Grail War is over. You know that, right?
へえ。なんだよエミヤ。君、もしかしてこの殺し合いに勝とうだなんて思ってるの？
I don't intend to die, nor do I want to murder anyone. But I'll fight anyone who attacks me, and I can't just ignore those who will try to bring disaster to our town. And I don't plan on killing anyone, but I have to see this Holy Grail thing for myself. In order to do that, I have to survive until the end, right? I turn away from Shinji.
そうかい。あくまで戦うつもりか。まあ、僕には関係のないことだけど、それならさくらを巻き込むような真似はしないよな、エミヤ。
Obviously not. You're going to hide this from her too, right?
もちろん。けど兄貴としてさ、これから殺し合いを続けるってやつの家に妹は置いておけない。お前が戦うって言うんなら、聖杯戦争が終わるまでさくらは家から出さない。それでいいよな、エミヤ。
He does have a point. As long as I'm fighting alongside Saber, the Hemiya household is also dangerous. Alright, I'll tell Sakura. That's fine, right, Shinji?
オーケー。後輩思いの先輩で助かった。正直お前がいつ桜を人質にするかヒヤヒヤしてたからね。いや、これで当面の悩み事は解消されたよ。
So we're done talking here. I'm going home then.
ああ、ご自由に。けど分かってるよな、イミヤ。ここで話したことは僕たちだけの秘密だぜ。こっちはエミヤを友人と見込んで秘密を打ち明けたんだ。それを人に話すようなことになったら、僕だって何をするかわからない。
That must mean he'll activate the bounded field if I tell Tosaka about him. Yeah, I won't tell anyone, but it's a different story if Tosaka finds you herself. I'm going to help Tosaka as much as I can. I won't stop her from fighting you if she finds out your identity. So if you don't want to be found, you should keep your head down. I walked to the front gate for real this time. The school building is in sunset. The school building in the sunset. Shinji sees me off without a word. New servant data added. There are only 2 sets of shoes at the entrance. Fujine's heels and Saber's loafers. I'm worried, so I go to the living room without announcing that I'm home. Briskly, I make my way down the hall. As expected, Sakura isn't in the living room. Instead, I spy someone that looks suspiciously like Fujine doing something that might be cooking in the kitchen.
あ、おかえりしろ。何驚いた顔しちゃって。なんかあったの？
She puts down what appears to be flour. If I didn't know any better, she looks like she's been mixing something. Oh, well, yeah, I am surprised. Everything's so different than usual. Actually, I don't remember how many years it's been since I last saw Fujine doing something like cooking.
いつもと違う？あ、そっか。さくらちゃんのことね。さくらちゃんなら帰ったわよ。お家の人から電話があって呼び戻されちゃった。
I see. Shinji must have called her. He didn't need to worry, but I guess he wanted to take care of it as soon as possible.
シンジ君？まあいっか。
After tilting her head as if she's not satisfied, she goes back to what she was doing. It bothers me a bit. It's not completely dark yet, so... I'll go tell Saber that I'm home before the sun sets and it's dinner time, so she won't whack me with Sheena again. I'm gonna go talk to Saber. I don't know what's up, but is it okay to leave you in charge of dinner?
いいよ。オッケー。美味しいカニ玉作ってあげるから期待してなさいよ。
I'm a bit worried, but crab egg foo young is like an advanced version of an omelet, so even Fujine should be able to handle it. I just got home, Saber. I take my shoes off as I enter the dojo.
おかえりなさい、シロ。その様子では大きな動きはなかったようですね。
Saber must feel relaxed in this atmosphere as she seems to favor the dojo. I kneel to sit and match Saber and tell her about what happened today, how we eliminated the bounded field at school, and how Tosaka anticipates that there'll be some kind of counterattack tomorrow.
なるほど。敵マスターとの戦いは明日ですか。 では今夜は十分に睡眠をとり、力を蓄えねばなりませんね。
I agree. I know it's probably naive, but I didn't tell her about Shinji. I don't want her to consider him an enemy until his true intentions are clear.
しかしシロ、もうじき夕食ですが、ここにいていいのですか？
Well, it's not like I have anything in particular to do, so I came to report to you since I have time until dinner. It's not bad to relax before a meal once in a while.
では今夜の食事はシロが作ってくれるのではないのですか？
Huh? No, is there a problem? Fujin is working hard, so I don't want to interrupt her.
確かに大河の意欲は尊重すべきですが、そのシロは本当に手を貸さないと。
If this leads to a bad end. Nope, it's alright. Fujin is an adult, so she should be able to make some egg foo young. Well, she might be even better than me. She has an A minus rank in unexpectedness after all. Admittedly, my explanation might be strange. And Saber is still frowning.
わかりました。大河ではなくシロを信じます。重ねていますが、信頼していいのですね、シロ。
She makes sure with an intimidating intensity. Yeah, you can trust me.
確かに聞きました。その誓い、決して忘れぬように。
Which is why I came to report to you now. That must have been enough as she relaxes her shoulders. Man, who would have imagined that this would become the cause of such a disaster? It's time for the long-awaited dinner. On the table, there's the crab egg fooyoung that Fujine made for the three of us. It's a simple dish where the rice in a bowl and one serving of the omelet on top of it. It looks like there's a yellow lid on the bowl, which doesn't really look that good. It should make the rice taste better since it's in a bowl. It's like a cutlet rice bowl or tempura rice bowl. There's no way it can be bad because the topping's flavor seeps into the rice evenly. The only downside is that the flavor would be rather mild, but it's a luxurious problem to have. Well, dig in.
はい、いただきまーす。
いただきます。
We all bow and start into our bowls, but there's not an ounce of softness in the egg fooyoung. In fact, the strange texture is more like that of a main dish.
事件発生。カニ玉丼が別の料理になってるよ。
This isn't an emergency or anything. This is more like okonomiyaki over rice.
ねえ、なんでこうなっちゃったの？私ちゃんと聞いた通り作ったよ。
Wow, did your family really teach you how to make this?
うん。おっきな卵焼き作るって言ったら小麦粉とかいろいろくれたの。
I wish she realized her mistake at that point. Until now, I thought that being able to make an omelet was a basic function every human being was born with. A crab egg fooyoung is only really an advanced version of an omelet. So it was my mistake to assume that Fujine couldn't mess up something like that. That's right. Fujine can't even cook an omelet!
シロ、
Then, I hear a voice filled with disappointment coming from my side. Saber? I slowly turn to her.
シロ、いくら私でもさすがにこれは食べにくい。
Yikes. It's hard to tell, but Saber seems mad. The nightmare of a dinner ends, and it's time for a strategy meeting. But I've already reported to Saber about what happened today. Since it's likely that there will be a battle tomorrow, we might as well prepare.
それでは今夜も外に出ることはないのですか、シロ。
Yeah, I'm sure it's frustrating for you, but sit tight for tonight. I don't intend to fight needless battles, and more than anything, we're not in a place to be able to fight freely. I'm inexperienced as a master, and Saber has a limit to how many times she can battle since I'm not able to provide her with any magical energy. Given our situation, it's not a good idea to be aimlessly looking around for masters.
わかりました。確かにシローの言い分には一理あります。積極的ではありませんが、勝利するためには細心の注意も必要ですから。ですが、戦う意志があるというのなら無駄な時間は使えません。今夜はここに留まるというのであらば、その時間を鍛錬に使うべきです。
Saber stares at me. She doesn't even need to tell me. I brought Saber to this dojo with that in mind. I know. Do you remember what happened last night? We had a match since you told me that I was slacking off for coming home late. Actually, it was less of a match and more of a one-sided beatdown. That was a good lesson. No matter what I do, there's going to be those I can't beat. That was never more apparent than when I fought you. With that in mind, I think it's important to train with you. I don't know how effective it'll be, but I should be able to survive a bit longer in battle if you're hard on me.
では、シロー。
Yeah. Please train me whenever we have the time. For today, that'll be until we go to bed. I take the bamboo sword on the wall. It's 8 p.m. There's still 4 hours until bedtime, so I train my heart out? Hold on, Saber! I stop Saber since I feel like my life's in danger, because the Saber turns to me.
何か戦う心構えを鍛えたいということですので、私もシローの意気込みに応えてみたのですが。
She's going to kill me!
さあ、鍛錬を始めましょう、シロー。まずはあなたの不明を打ちます。確かにシローはたるんでいますからね。今夜のようなことがないよう気を引き締めてもらわなければ。
So she is mad about dinner. What? That was Fujina's fault! And even though you complained, you ate all of it!
問答無用。それにシロー、意識を失う前に言っておきますが、あれはやむなくです。今後それを忘れぬように。
Oh. Saber disappears. Oh man. So I have to go through 4 hours of brutal torture. Grudges overthrown sure are scary. Ouch. Saber never went easy on me. I crawl into bed. My body is covered in bruises and pain relief patches, and I'm sure it'll all be sore tomorrow. I'm tired. Really, that's an understatement. After training with Saber, I did my daily strengthening routine, so I'm tired both mentally and physically. Saber and Fujin are sleeping in a room nearby, but I don't even care right now. I'm just exhausted. I'll sleep for now and prepare for tomorrow. Am I dreaming? I must have dozed off. My body's asleep and I can't even lift a finger. Then this has to be a dream. It's a dark night. There's a weird ringing in my ears. My legs are still asleep, but I'm walking down a hill. Come. It's cold. The wind is stabbing my cheeks. I must still be in my pajamas as the rest of my body is ice cold. This is unusual for Fuyuki. It feels so cold that I ought to wake from the discomfort if this were... It feels so cold that I ought to wake from the discomfort if this were a dream. Come. I walk through the empty town. The ringing in my ears doesn't stop. Ignoring my shivering body, my feet are moving towards somewhere. Oh. I try to scream, but I notice that my throat is frozen. This isn't a dream. This can't be a dream. But I still feel like I'm asleep. My limbs, they aren't following my orders, and they're walking as if manipulated by something. Calm. Oh. This must be the final destination. My feet move faster as I climb up the stone steps. The ringing in my ears turns into a voice. No, that's wrong. The ringing hasn't changed at all. It's been repeating the same word over and over. Come here.
さあ、ここまでいらっしゃい、坊や。
What fills the inside of my skull is a female voice full of magical energy. I see the mountain gate. Something's on the other side, and if I cross that gate, I won't come out alive. I don't know what it is, but my hazy mind screams for me to flee right now. Go back. Go back. Go back. Stop. You can still make it. Wake up right now and go back. Wake up. Oh. I'm able to wake. My hazy thoughts become clear and my will finally returns. But it's too late. My limbs still don't obey me as they go through the mountain gate. The only certain thing is my mind. My body does not listen to me and walks into Ryudo Temple, not going against my voice. The temple is covered in darkness. In the center stands something with an inhuman magical energy. The figure wavers like a heat haze. A dark shadow that reminds me of a grim reaper strips off the layers of darkness and... The figure turns into a magician that one would see in those old fairy tales.
そこで止まりなさい、坊や。
New servant data added, so hopefully this isn't a bad end.
それ以上近づかれると殺してしまうでしょ。
She sneers. It seems that my body is under her control. The feet that won't listen to me freeze at her command. My consciousness wavers. I can't move my own limbs at all despite an enemy appearing right before me. Yes, that is an enemy. There's no doubt or hesitation. As a servant, a heroic spirit who excels most in magecraft out of the 7 servants. The caster class servant. I moved my frozen throat with all my might and somehow managed to glare at my enemy.
その通りよ、坊や。ようこそ私の神殿へ。歓迎するわ、セイバーのマスターさん。
The cool voices mocking me at the same time. I try to pour strength into my legs, but my body doesn't move at all. Dang it, what am I doing? I've been lured here, and on top of that, I can't move a muscle. I concentrate on my limbs with all my energy. Whatever trick this is, Caster's magecraft is robbing the freedom to control my body. Then if I can extract her magical energy...
自由になれると思ってかわいいこと。そんな方法で私の呪縛を解こうだなんて随分と優しいのね、あなた。
What? I concentrate everything I have to search throughout my body. Caster's magical energy. It seeped into my body to take away the freedom from my limbs. I peer into my own body but keep my eyes focused straight ahead. It's not that difficult to say It's not that difficult if I stay calm. Every night I focus on finding the magical energy and circuit within me. I just have to repeat that and identify where Caster's poisoning me from. Even if I can't get it out of my body, I can focus it into one of my limbs so that I can move the other 3. Huh? What even is this? Caster's magical energy isn't mixed within me. The only tainting element is this one small point on my chest. yet my whole body is acting abnormally. There's nothing wrong in my flowing blood, but the blood vessels themselves are screwed up. It's like my heart is locked up. Is the red spot on my chest Castor's magical energy? My body is completely stripped of its authority with just one word of a curse. No way! So I was cursed by Castor in my sleep. Even if I was asleep, it should be impossible for me to be captured by a magecraft when that was activated so far away. Mages have a resistance. It's the power to repel magecraft. It's the power to repel magecraft effects that hypnotize, bind, or coerce. As long as one is a mage, one cannot be easily manipulated by other mages. It's a fundamental law. Mages have magic circuits. The circuits running through my body not only make magical energy, but they also have the ability to repel external magical energy. It's difficult to interfere with the bodily functions of someone who has working magic circuits, and it's hard to control even a mage several ranks below oneself. As the magic circuit repels external magical energy, the spell is destroyed before it can be completed. For that reason, indirect magecraft that has those coercive or binding effects has a low success rate. Even if the target is not a mage, the magecraft can be repelled unconsciously if they have a magic circuit. In that regard, an intervention of just attacking with magical energy like Tosaka does, where you make a weapon in this world and attack after completing the spell, is the most efficient magecraft. Something that strikes physically works on other physical things. Regardless of whether or not someone has a circuit, you bleed if you're caught. That makes this something else entirely. I'm guessing if I were in close proximity, such a spell would work on me. If I had met Castor before somewhere and had a spell cast on me then, it follows that she could affect me from some distance. But I've never met Castor, nor do I recall having a curse cast on me. This is our first meeting. Without moving from here, Castor cast a spell all the way to my house and captured my body. The word witch pops into my head. She can control my body from more than a few kilometers away, which shouldn't be possible if we're both mages. But Castor can manipulate anybody in town without moving from here. My spirit weakens. As the magecraft is complete, there's no way for me to dispel it. I can't do anything unless Castor releases me or I get some outside help.
理解できて？あなたを縛っているのは私の魔力ではなく、魔術そのもの。一度成立した魔術は、魔力という水では洗い流せない。液体と固体のようなものよ。形を得たものに水をかけても、その形は崩れないでしょ。
Give it enough time and erosion happens. The shadow gets closer. The bluish-purple robe melting into the night is
けれ
sneering.
ど例外もあるわ。例えばそうね。あなたたちが編み上げた魔術など、私にしてみれば泥の建造物に過ぎない。そんなもの、かける水流が多く激しければ、形になっていようと簡単に洗い流せる。理解できて？私とあなたたちの違いはそういう次元の話なのよ。
Oh, really? That's what you brought me all the way here, huh?
ええ。マスターたちは皆小物だけど、その中でもあなたは飛び抜けて力不足でしたから。何しろ町の人間たちと変わらない高魔力ですもの。そんなマスターを見つけたらこうして話をしたくなるのは当然でしょ。
She snickers. Demonstratively, she's the superior here, and I'm just the prey. Ugh. A chill runs through me. She wants to speak to me. Yeah, right. No, she's just gonna kill me.
ほらまた誤解。安心なさい。殺してしまっては魔力を吸い上げられないわ。この町の人間は皆私のものですからね。殺さない程度に生かし続けて、最後の一滴まで差し出してもらわないと。
Her laughter echoes in my ears. What? I feel as though a missing piece fits inside my head. Did she just say that she's going to drain the magical energy from everyone in this town? Castor, you involved innocent people in this?
あら、知らなかったの？あの小娘と手を組んだのだから当然知っているものと思っていたけど。そう、まだ知らなかったのね、あなた。
Castor's lips curl into a delighted smile, as if she's thinking about how she'll cook the prey that she caught.
なら教えてあげる。私、キャスターのサーバントには陣地を作る権利があるのよ。魔術師は工房を持つものでしょ。それと同じよ。私はこの場所に神殿を作ってあなたたちから身を守る。幸いこの土地はサーバントにとって鬼門ですからね。陣地としては優れているし、何より魔力を集めやすい。初めはあまりにもあなたたちの魔力が少なくて加減がつかなかったけれど、今は程よく集められるわ。ほら見えるでしょ、この土地にたまった数百人分の魔力の貯蔵、有象無象の人のかけらが。
The incidents happening in this town are...
ええ、ここは私の神殿だと言ったでしょ。なら供物を捧げるのは下界でうごめく人間たちの使命ではなくて。
Unknown coma incidents happening in this town. I didn't think it was that many, but she said hundreds of people. If I look closely, in the swirl of magical energy in this temple, it looks as if it's made up of 1,000 souls. Castor! I put strength into my limbs, but there's no change, and Castor just stands there mocking me.
さあ、それでは話を済ませてしまいましょうか。あなたもずっとそうしているのは退屈でしょ。
A voice whispers in my ear. At the same time, the enemy that I couldn't see until now fills my vision.
セイバーのマスター、あなたからはそのレイジをもらってあげるわ。セイバーは消すには惜しいサーバントですもの。彼女にはあの目障りなバーサーカーを倒してもらうとしましょう。
Castor raises her arm. A finger inches toward my right and toward my arm. Take my command spells? Is that possible? I think Tosaka said that you would need to pull out the nerves in order to take command spells.
そうよ。まずはその皮を剥いで、それからレイジを私のマスターに移植する。けれどレイジは所有者の魔術回路と一体化しているでしょ。レイジを剥奪するということはあなたから神経を引き抜くということでもあるわ。
Casually, Castor speaks of something horrifying as if it were small talk. What? Pull out my nerves? So she's gonna rip out the nerves in my body? If she does that, I'll...
ええ、正常ではいられなくなるでしょうね。けれど安心なさい。命まで取りはしないから。
I desperately put strength into my limbs to the point that they might get dismembered, but nothing changes. My limbs don't move, and I'm like a prisoner about to be executed. A bewitching sneer. The fingers that glow ominously slowly reach out from my left hand like a crawling spider. Interlude 6-1 Unlimited Blade Works. How long has it taken for her to notice something is wrong? Saber looks from a strange premonition of a spider's web and makes her way to the hallway.
シロ、
At first, she thinks that it might be coming from her master. The abnormality came from Shirou and Rin's room before snaking outside.
まったく まだ魔術の鍛錬をしているのですか？
Saber sighs, her golden hair swaying. It's good that he's enthusiastic, but his body won't last unless he rests. And when she decides to go warn him, she realizes her own mistake. She confirms her suspicions and gasps. The abnormality isn't coming from Shirou's room. Under the moonlight, a string, thin as her hair, runs through the darkness. The single string goes into Shirou's room from outside the house. It's so thin that even the bounded field here didn't catch wind of it. There's no time. She transforms into an armored knight and swiftly heads out. Her feet run through the quiet streets. Nothing will stop her. She knows where she must go. She only has to follow the string, the pulse of her master. All she can do is run as fast as she can. It makes no difference whether her destination is her enemy's territory or how many death traps await her. She has sworn to protect her master. Anything that might come is negligible. A mountain contaminated with an abundance of magical energy. Ghosts fly around in the sky like crows, and the leaves of the trees are covered in unseen blood. Within the collected magical energy reside these stripped down souls, and the stark mountainside will consume those that approach. If there is a place in this world where death is assured, this is unmistakably the perfect example. She enters without hesitation. Such things will not stop her. If this place is a nightmare, then she has to save her master all the more. She runs up the stone stairs. The expected traps and obstacles do not manifest. The mountain gate is already in her sight, and she should reach it with one more step of her magical energy infused legs. But her advance ends. No, it is halted by an enemy. Atop the staircase landing beneath the eaves of the mountain gate, there stands one servant. His name is Sasaki Kojiro. Even though he hasn't said it yet, but we do know this from the Fate Rat. The assassin-class servant, the protector of Ryudo Temple, wields the longsword Monohoshizao. Her mind in unrest, Saber readies invisible air. Her master is on the other side of the mountain gate, but the identity of the servant that stands before her is too much of an unknown, even though somehow you already know his name, even though he hasn't said it. The way he revealed his identity with no hesitation, he does not take a stance, and his hostility seems transparent, pure, and apparently he announced his name to Saber off screen. She cannot grasp his strength from such a transparent offering. She can see his power as a servant. Assassin is not powerful, so it ought to be easy to maneuver and defeat him, but her instincts tell her otherwise. They tell her that in a duel, she will not best him.
貴様に用はない。そこをどけ、アサシン。
Saber clamps down on her anxiety and glares at Assassin. There's only one step until she can strike the opponent. To move up or down. The moment one of them makes a move, the other will strike with a killing
聞こえなかったのか。どけと言ったのだ、アサシン。
Her final warning. The long sword-wielding swordsman accepts with grace and poise.
そうか。この門を通りたいのだな、セイバー。
Her green eyes would but pierce his body with such a foolish question. He must like a reaction. The longsword weaves through the night in an arc.
ならば押し通れ。急がねば、お前の主人とやらの命はないぞ。
He laughs with the same cool, collected tone.
アサシン。
Saber steps up in reply. The longsword swiftly strikes, and Saber's invisible blade intercedes. The sounds of the clashing swords echo through the breezy mountaintop. Their skill seems equal, but she has no advantage. Frustration builds. The enemy that she must defeat quickly is actually skilled and a great hindrance.
シロどうか
She grits her teeth and prays with all her might. In that moment, excessive thoughts beyond the duel seep into her skull. The battle does not end. The mountain gate is too far away. Interlude out. Caster extends her fingers. Dang it! I try to fight back, but my body won't move. My limbs aren't responding, my sensors are being taken away, and I'm sure she's going to off me.
さよなら坊や。悔やむのならその程度の力量でマスターになったことを悔やみなさい。
My body doesn't move at all and accepts the fingertip of death. I resist the urge to close my eyes and keep glaring at Caster with all my might.
あらいい子ね。そういう頑張りは嫌いではありませんよ。
Caster snickers at my utmost resistance and puts her fingers on my command spells. Oh. Even my free will is going numb. In my fleeting thoughts, I hear the sound of clashing swords from the temple gate behind me. What kind of miracle is this? I hear the sound of dozens of objects splitting the air, followed by numerous arrows piercing the ground in front of me. Caster instantly retreats, her black robe swirling like a spinning top. There are arrows piercing the ground by her feet. 13 of them fired from the direction of the temple gate. They were probably fired in rapid succession, and Caster would have been struck center mass had there been one more in the volley. The one who fired stands there, atop the gate. The knight in red then jumps down to ground level, his hands empty.
とうに命はないと思ったが、存外にしぶといのだな。
Honestly, I thought I'd be dead too. Archer moves to stand before me, as if to protect me. Why?
何？ただの通りがかりだ。あ、で、体はどうだ？キャスターの意図なら、今ので立ったはずだが。
Huh? I checked my hand. It moves. My frozen limbs must have regained mobility from that earlier action. I can move. Caster's spell is gone, but...
それは結構。あとは好きにしろ。と言いたいところだが、あれに殺されたくなければ、しばらくそこから動かぬことだ。あまり考えなしに。
アーチャーですって？アサシンめ何をしていたの？
そら、見ての通り、八つ当たりを食らうことになる。女の劇場というのは、なかなかに凝しがたい。まったく、少しばかり手荒いことになりそうだ。
Archer laughs. I can't tell how serious he is.
さて、そう怒るな、キャスター。アサシンならば、セイバーと対峙している。あの侍、何者かは知らんが、セイバーを押しとどめるとは大した剣豪だ。むしろ褒めてやるべきではないか。
Even though he's facing an enemy, there's no tension in his voice or body language at all. Caster must have noticed and regains her composure.
ふざけたことを。あなたを止められないようでは英雄などとは呼べない。あの男、剣豪を名乗らせるには実力不足です。
おう、その言いぶり。アサシンが自分の仲間だとでも言いたげだが、 そうでなくてはこの状況に説明がつかん。一つの場所に二人のサーバントが今日構えるなどとな。
Caster stares at Archer silently. I can't see her expression well beneath her hood, but she looks as if she's agitated. Archer, is that true? Assassin and Caster's masters are cooperating?
ああ、門の外を守るアサシンと門の内に潜むキャスター、この両者が協力関係なのは明白だろう。マスター同士が協力し合うのも珍しいことではない。現にお前とリントで手を結んでいる。
Way to let that slip out. Oh, that's right. Then there are two masters at this Ryudo temple?
何を言い出すかと思えば随分と的外れなことを言うのね、あーちゃん。
なんだ、違ったか。まあいい。
ええ、見当違いも甚だしいわ。仲間ですって？私があの犬と協力し合う？私の手駒に過ぎないあの男と？
Her laugh is so out of place that the tense atmosphere disperses. Contrarily, Archer grits his teeth. Something finally comes out. It's not Caster's enmity nor the swirl of magical energy surrounding the temple. For the first time since he came here, Archer is showing open hostility.
そう、あなたの予感は正しいですよ、あーちゃん。私のマスターは誰とも手を組んでなどいないし、アサシンのマスターも同じ。いいえ、そもそもアサシンにマスターなど存在しないのですからね。
Cat? Assassin doesn't have a master? What does that mean? Servants cannot exist without a master. Weren't they supposed to disappear if they don't have a supply of magical energy?
キャスター、貴様、ルールを破ったな。
まさかルールを破ってなどいませんわ。だってサーバントを呼び出すのは魔術師でしょ。ならキャスターである私がサーバントを呼び出して何の不都合があるのです。
So that would make you the master. So he's not masterless. He's not a rogue servant. The witch in black robes proclaims with a sneer. So that means the assassin class servant at the temple gate is a heroic spirit summoned by Caster.
サーバントを操るサーバントか。なるほど。ならばこその架空の英雄か。まっとうなマスターに呼び出されなかったアサシンは本来呼ばれるべき暗殺者以外のものをアサシンにしてしまった。それは構わん。元となる英霊が誰であろうと敵は倒すのみだが、それは貴様の独断ではないのか、キャスター。
聞きましょう。なぜそのような結論が出せるのです、アーチャー。
何、ただの直感だよ。その魔術師が自分より優れた魔術師を使い魔にした場合、そこにあるのはただの主従関係ではあるまい。マスターが自身より優れたキャスターを警戒するのは当然だ。私が貴様のマスターであるのなら魔女に自由など与えない。マスター本人ではなく貴様だけの手足となるサーバントの召喚など強化するはずがない。
それなりの知恵は働くようですね、アーチャー。いいわ、その賢さに免じて今の暴言は聞き流しましょう。
Caster snickers, though she watches Archer carefully. The only thing between them is enmity. They're about 7 meters apart. With the charge that Archer showed at school, he should be able to slash Caster before she even finishes chanting an incantation.
納得がいった。セイバーやランサー、ライダーは強力な対魔力を持っている。 ここの男の高魔力など比べ物にならない。次元違いの対魔力だ。彼らにはあらゆる魔術が効きづらい。故に魔術師である君では彼らに太刀打ちできない。
Wait. Ryder has strong magical resistance? Is that why Riders beat casters in FGO?
となれば策略に走るのは当然だった。ルールを破り自らの手でアサシンのサーバントを呼ぶ。この土地に今日構え町の人間から魂を収集する。自らは戦わず町中に張った目で戦況を把握する。これだけのことをするのだ。当然自分のマスターは拘束しているのだろうな。ここの間抜けなマスターのようにとっくに操り人形というわけだ。
Hey! She smiles silently. That sends a chill up my spine. She's not only collecting magical energy from the people in town, she's even using her own master as her own tool, just like she did to me. Caster is dangerous. She's not a pure threat like Berserker, but those who make the situation worse without showing themselves are always the most problematic in a war.
ええ、あなたは正しいわ、あーちゃん。けれど私があなたたちにかなわないというのは間違いよ。聖杯戦争に勝つことなんて簡単ですもの。私が手を尽くしているのは単にその後を考えているだけ。あなたたち。
ほう。サーバントを倒すのはたやすいと言ったな、キャスター。
言ったわ。ここなら私は誰よりも強いもの。バーサーカーやセイバーならいざ知らず、アーチャー程度ではかすり傷さえ負わせられないでしょう。
Challenge accepted.
それよりあなたの方こそ逃げる算段を立てなさい。一度目は許したけれど二度目はなくてよ。私を魔女と呼んだ者には相応の罰を与えます。
Caster's robe distorts. The magical energy in the air becomes a dense fog covering Caster's body. With that in front of him,
面白い。かすり傷さえ負わぬと言ったな。
though he's barely audible, Archer sounds amused.
ええ、あなたでは私に触れることさえできないでしょう。
The Black Shadow responds. The Knight in Red laughs.
では一撃だけ。それで無理ならあとはセイバーに任せよう。
He flies like a squall towards the Black Shadow. The Red Shadow runs. I don't know when he got them, but in Archer's hands are those weapons, twin swords. He does not allow any time for chanting incantations. Archer closes in on Caster before she can extend her arm. He slashes her in half with those twin blades. The robe, cut in half, scatters in the wind. Archer seems disappointed, standing in front of the remains of the enemy he just defeated so easily. It looked disappointing. She talked so big, yet she lost without even attacking him once. Anyone would feel let down. Archer still gripping the twin swords. A red knight. The black and white short swords are magnificent to behold. Strange. My eye really keeps getting drawn to them. Those twin swords. They must be great swords with history, but I don't feel any malice from them. Noble phantasms are supposed to be fantastic weapons, so it only makes sense that they're beautifully crafted. If Saber's sword was visible, I have to imagine it'd likewise be majestic. These swords, however, are different. A sword with the clear purpose of defeating opponents. A sword that was made to leave a mark on history. A sword forged to surpass the skill and craft of another. A sword intended to do some great deed. These blades have none of that. They're nothing like a blade with a frame. They're nothing like a blade with a famed story or magical lineage. If anything, it seems like they were made because someone just wanted to. There's something raw about them, unalloyed even, made like their creator questioned their own significance. That's what I think those are. Mirrored swords without vanity, black and white, a swordsman's awkward representation of yin and yang. I stand captivated because I feel like the way they are is beautiful. Caster's slashed body disappears. After seeing it off, the moment Archer looks like he's going to put his weapons
残
away.
念ねアーチャー。あなたが本当にその程度だったなんて。
Caster's voice echoes throughout the desolate temple. Archer leaps. The barrage from earlier is mirrored. Bullets of light come flying from the sky to pierce Archer, and Archer repels them with his twin swords. No, this is different from before. What? The ground is burnt red. The magical energy compressed within one of those lights is at least 3 times greater than my full capacity. I'm sure even Archer would have half his body blown away if he took a direct hit. He'd just be like Caster earlier. I look up at the sky. The moon is invisible, veiled behind a sea of dark clouds. In the midst of that, the black mage floats as if she reigns over the heavens.
空間転移か固有実制御か。どちらにせよ、この境内ならば魔法の真似事さえ可能ということか。見直したよキャスター。いや、大口を叩くだけはある。
While looking at the caster, Archer adjusts the grip on his twin sword.
そうですか。私は見下げ果てたわアーチャー。使えると思って試してみたけど、結果がこれではアサシン以下よ。
耳に痛いな。次があるのならもう少し気を利かせるが。
まさか愚か者に次などありません。あなたはここで消えなさいアーチャー。
Archer becomes a streak. He takes off at full speed to get clear from Caster at this place, and this place.
逃げ切れると思って。
Caster's staff moves. The moment it points at Archer, something absurd flashes before my very eyes. No one can hear me say, "No way!" Caster's attack is like a deluge of rain. The light that streaks down is like a bombing rain. Each spell is a death blow, and Caster rains them down uninhibited. I may be green at this, but even I can tell how off the charts this magecraft is. This is more like a grand magecraft. Something like that requires a magic circle and a 10. Something like that requires a magic circle and a 10-count instant contract. An incantation of at least 10 lines. Because Grand Magecraft is powerful, it requires more time to cast it. A normal mage would take a minute to cast such Magecraft. Even a mage that uses high-speed incantation would take 30 seconds. But she did it in an instant. She didn't even need an incantation and just pointed her staff. And she's using it continuously. I can't even think of anyone who could compare.
A ランクの魔術をここまで連発するとは。 よほど魔力を溜め込んだな。
Hey, she ain't no Tom Malone! He must have decided that he can't avoid them all anymore as Archer sprints while deflecting them with his twin sword. Archer makes for the exit and changes course halfway, and halfway there as if he just remembers it.
歩け！貴様、いつまでそこに突っ立っている？
You told me to just stand here! Archer charges toward me with a fierce look. Huh? Makes me realize the place I'm standing is no longer safe. I'm already in the range of the rain of light.
なんだってこんな手間を。
Archer makes toward me. The moment I try to jump back to avoid him, my body's flying through the air. Huh? I try to shake him off, but you gotta be kidding me! Archer's now carrying me? Let me down, you idiot! What are you thinking?
知るものか。いいから黙っていろ。お前に言われると自分のバカさ加減に頭を痛めろ。バカが。
Idiot! You call me an idiot? No, you're an idiot yourself! Idiot!
ガキガキ様。バカでガキとはもはや手がつけない。せめてどちらかに止めてあげたわけだ。
Archer must be wound up as his words make no sense. But even though he saved me, I just can't graciously accept. Just let go of me! I can take care of myself. I don't need your help! No, more than that, I can't bear being a hindrance. Archer should have been able to escape by now if it was just himself. But the exit is farther now than he saved me. Archer running around the temple must be an easy target for him. Who's above us? Archer, are you even listening to me?
そうか。なら遠慮はいらんな。
Then Archer drop kicks me. I tumble onto the ground. He must have kicked me hard as I flew at least 5 meters. You... I endure the pain and get up. Huh? Archer is still. The rain of light bullets has also stopped. All that remains is a feeling of cold that hurts my ears. Hey. I finally get my bearings. The very air around Archer is frozen.
気分はどうかしら、アーチャー。いかに三騎士といえど、空間そのものを固定化されていては動けないのではなくて？
Castor's triumphant voice. Archer must not be able to talk. It's like time has stopped for
どう
him.
やらこれで爪のようね。外にはセーバーもいることですし、これ以上あなたにかける時間はないわ。どこの英雄だったかは知らないけど、これでお別れよ、あっちゃ。
Castor raises her left hand. Yeah, that's her left hand. From that hand, the light bullet of instant death is dropped. But right before that, Archer murmurs something.
何かしら、あっちゃ。命乞いなら聞いてあげても。
と言ったのだ、キャスター。
His tone is filled with irritation. I try to make out what he's saying, and
たわけ。かわせと言ったのだ、キャスター。
Archer leaps away. He must have broken the frozen space with force. With the sound of breaking glass, Archer flashes out of sight.
何よ、バカな。
Distracted by Archer's angry shout, Castor is baffled. And then to either side of her, a flash of black and white converge on her. Castor's robe tears. She must have been given just enough warning from Archer's shout and narrowly escapes the attack. It should not need explaining, but it is Archer's blades that fly by. It was in an instant. Archer threw the twin swords to either side when he kicked me and got caught in the freezing spell. The blades boomerang through the air and made an arc back toward Castor. Just guess you gotta hand it to him. Wait, where'd he go? I'm left speechless. Castor too. The Red Knight leaps back into view and calls checkmate. He kneels on the ground and aims his bow toward the sky. His target is Castor, and the arrow he has knocked is the same magical blade that he shot at Berserk.
I am the bone of my soul.
Archer's voice shakes the air. Castor weaves an urgent incantation, but having clearly anticipated that, Archer shoots the arrow. Is that his noble phantasm? The released arrow twists space itself. Castor's moan fills the air. The tornado-like arrow easily penetrated Castor's defenses. Most likely, guessing from the distortion, I bet Castor would have been twisted along with space itself, even if she had teleported. Even then, Castor's still alive. The black robe has scattered, and the body underneath the robe has numerous cuts. Castor is using all her magical energy to regenerate, but I'm sure she would have died instantly without a chance to heal had it been a direct hit. Yeah. Archer's shot did not land a direct hit. The arrow was released into an empty space away from Castor, and her barrier of protection was destroyed from the aftermath. The arrow missed. No, that's wrong. He did not miss. He deliberately did not hit her. I don't know what his intentions are. Though he had the chance to finish her off, for whatever reason, Archer let her go. Stillness returns to the temple. Archer remains in front of me, while Castor floats down, glaring at Archer all the while. That last attack must have taken a lot out of him, as I can sense that Archer's magical energy is low. That goes for Castor as well. Although it missed, Archer's attack scraped away most of Castor's body and magical energy. Even if there was a big pool of magical energy here, it's useless if Castor is too injured to collect. Castor lands dispirited. She seems to have managed to reform her body, but she's running on empty inside. It should be impossible to continue fighting. Castor stares at us while breathing heavily. For some reason, she seems to be comparing the both of us.
あーちゃん、今の一撃、なぜ外したのです？
The demoralization in her voice. The demoralization is in her voice as well. Archer shrugs as if to say it should be obvious.
いや、試すのは一撃だけと言っただろう。初めの一撃はかわされたからな。その後はただのおまけだ。なんだ、それともまさか約束を違えても当ててほしかったのか？
He's crazy.
では、私を殺す気はなかったと？
つい挑発に乗っただけだ。私の目的はそこの男にあったからな。他のサーバントと戦うなど予定にはなかった。
He really didn't seem to come here with any hostility at first.
そう。どうやら私と戦いに来たというわけではなかったよね、あーちゃん。
ああ、そこの男が腰抜けなのと同じでね。不必要な戦いは避けるのが主義だ。剣を取るときは必勝の好機であり、必殺を誓ったときのみだ。意味のない殺生は苦手でな。
I don't know what's so funny, but Castor gives a hearty laugh.
そう。ならあなたたちは似た者同士ということ？
はあ？
What? We reply in unison. Similar? Me and that guy? What makes her say that?
違うのかしら。あなたたちは無益な殺生が嫌なのでしょ。そこの坊やは私のような無関係な人間を糧にするサーバントが許せない。あなたは無意味な殺戮は好まない。ほら、全く同じじゃない。だから手を組んでいるのではなくて。
Stupid! How do you figure that? Get your eyes checked. How can anyone think we're even remotely alike?
同感だ。平和主義者なのは同じだが根本が大きく異なる。厄介事は早めに片付けるのが私の方針だ。この男のようにいつまでも悩んだりはしない。
Passive is my backside. I haven't forgotten. You shot at Saber along with Berserker. You made Saber fight by herself while you hid safely far away.
仕方なかろう。あの時はまだ共闘関係ではなかった。サイバーの安全よりバーサーカーを倒すことが優先されただけだ。それとも何か目に映るもの全てを助けろなどというのではあるまいな。ならばバーサーカーとて倒す対象にはならないか。
We glare at each other. Man, I really don't get along with this guy. Why does everything he say get on my nerves? Meanwhile, Caster's laugh is even more amused as she looks between us.
気に入ったわ。あなたたちは力もそのあり方も希少よ。敵に回してしまうのは惜しい。
My head tilts in confusion. Archer looks away from me and glares at Caster. Hold on, what are you saying?
わからない？私と手を組みなさいと言っているのよ。私なら今のパートナーより優れたものを用意できるわ。坊やにはセイバー以上のサーバントを。アーチャーは今のマスターより優れた魔術師と契約できる。
My mind grinds to a halt. I question her sanity and seriousness.
悪い話ではないはずよ。私にはこの戦いを終わらせる用意がある。言ったでしょ。勝つことなんてたやすいと。どう？生き残りたいのなら私に従うべきじゃなくて？
There's not even an option here. I've decided to fight to stop those who involve innocent people. As such, I can't accept the offer from someone like her. I refuse. I can't cooperate with a witch like you. That's all there is to it. It should be obvious where I'd stand. I can't ally myself with this servant, nor can I betray those I'm already partnered with. I'm going to fight alongside Saber and Archer, who also never betrayed Tosaka. I'm going to fight alongside Saber, and Archer would never betray Tosaka. Wait, this guy, he's hesitated. Hey, Archer, you...
拒否する。君の力を借りる理由がない。それ以前に君の陣営はいささか戦力不足だ。いかに勢力を伸ばそうとバーサーカー一人に及ばない。まだ組みするほどの条件ではないな。
I sigh with relief. I had a bad feeling, but he's not like that. I hate him, but he's firm on his beliefs.
そう。交渉は決裂ということ。
そうだ。だがここで君と戦う気はない。この場に居合わせたのは私の独断でね。マスターの命令ではないから君を撃つ理由はない。ここは痛み分けということで手を打たないか。
Huh? I doubt my own ears. Did he just say that he's going to let Caster go?
意外ね。あなたのマスターは私を追っていたでしょ。なのにあなたは私を見逃すというの。
ああ、 お前がここで何人殺そうが知らん。それは私には預かり知らぬことだ。
あら、ひどい男。毒は使いようということ？
I mean, technically it does.
私のマスターはマスター殺しに精力的でなくてね。その分お前が他のマスターを潰してくれるのなら何かと助かる。この戦いの決着はその後でも遅くはあるまい。
Hold on, Castor. Castor seems to have accepted Archer's proposal as she turns around. I run to Castor as she moves to vanish, but Archer stops me.
バカカキ様、追えば確実に死ぬぞ。
He says indifferently. Though true, his words make me feel so furious I make myself nauseous. Ugh! I stop. Castor's black gown flutters in the wind and disappears like magic. She's gone. Only Archer and I remain on the temple grounds. Seeing him gets on my nerves. He saved me twice today. Castor would have taken my command spells if it weren't for him, and I'm sure I would have died from that deluge of light. But this is different. I can't forgive him for letting Castor go. Archer, why did you let Castor go?
戦う時ではなかったからだ。ここで切り伏せたところで、あれはすぐさま逃げおせただろう。今の空間転移、見逃したわけではあるまい。
That's true. We wouldn't be able to capture Castor if she really wanted to get away. On top of that, this temple is Castor's territory. She's a witch. Even if she was weakened, I'm sure she had at least one or two tricks up her sleeve.
理解できたらしいな。キャスターを倒すのならマスターが先なのだ。いかに空間を飛んで逃れようが、よりしろであるマスターが倒されればキャスターとて消えざるを得ないからな。
Going for the master and not the servant. That is the safest and most sure approach in the Holy Grail War. I know that, but still, you're going to let her get away? The incidents happening in town are all her doing, right? There'll be more victims unless we stop her. I can't let that be!
なぜ？お前自身が傷つくことではあるまい。むしろ奴にはこのまま続けてもらいたいぐらいだ。キャスターは人々から正気を吸い上げ、その力でバーサーカーを倒す。私とリンはキャスターは倒せるが、バーサーカーには及ばないのでな。バーサーカーを倒すまでキャスターには好きにさせておくさ。
What makes you so sure you could beat Castor if she's powered up enough to be able to beat Berserker? My face heats up. Blood rushes to my head, and I want to punch him. Don't be ridiculous. Tosaka wouldn't do such a thing.
そうだな。だからこそキャスターには手早くことを済ませてほしいものだ。リンがキャスターに追いつけば対決は避けられない。その前にキャスターがバーサーカーを退治してくれれば理想的だ。何人犠牲になるかは知らんが、それでバーサーカーが倒せるのならば安いものだろう。人間など結局は死ぬ生き物。誰にどう殺されようが結果的には変わるまい。キャスターも手ぬるい。いっそ魔力だけでなく命まで奪ってしまえばよいもの。町中の人間が死に絶えれば少しは戦いやすくなる。私のマスターも根は甘いからな。そうなればもはやなりふりなどに構ってはいられまい。
The Red Knight smiles dryly. He sounds amused. He feels the people living here are in the way. He's saying the same thing as Castor. You.
ああ、お前も知っての通り、リンは形式にこだわるタイプでね。魔術師としては申し分ないが、マスターとしては 汚さに欠ける。そうだな。彼女がキャスターのようになってくれれば私もここまで苦労はしないのだが。
You jerk! I punch Archer's face. Well, I punch in that general direction, but he easily avoids it.
何をする？私たちは協力関係ではなかったか？
Forget you! I'm nothing like you. I don't sacrifice those around me in order to win. I'd never do such a thing.
それは私も同じだ、エミヤシロ。だが全ての人間を救うことはできまい。例えばキャスターが聖杯を手に入れてしまえば被害はこの町だけにとどまるまい。それはイリアスフィールも他のマスターも同じだ。聖杯を私利私欲で使わぬマスターは私が知る限りお前とリンだけだからな。故にならばこの町の人間には犠牲になってもらい私たちの役に立ってもらうしかあるまい。その結果で被害を抑えられるのならお前の方針と同じだろうさ。
I feel numb. He doesn't need to explain it. I can't save everyone. Kiritsugu always said that. So I should be over it, but it's just the way that he says it that just ticks me off.
無関係な人間を巻き込みたくないと言ったな。ならば認めろ。一人も殺さないなどという方法では結局誰も救えない。キャスターの言う通り、残念ながら私たちは似た者同士だ。犠牲者を出したくないというのなら協力し合うしかあるまい。
No! I won't cooperate with you! I could never accept you!
そうか。お前が信じたものはリンだけだったな。
I turned my back to Archer. I'm different than him. I can't let Castor be, so there's only one course of
まさ
action.
かキャスターを追うつもりか？
I ignore him and start walking. My destination is inside the temple. If this is Castor's territory, then her workshop is inside the temple.
信じられんな。お前一人ではキャスターにかなうべくもない。命が惜しいのならやめておけ。
Archer follows, complaining the entire way.
まったくせっかく助けてやった命を無駄にするのか。それは構わんがせめて感謝の一言でも残したらどうだ。先ほどの女性は私なりの行為だったのだがね。命の恩人とまではいかないが視線を共にくぐり抜けた友人ぐらいにはありがたがってほしいものだ。
Gah! Man, he really gets on my nerves. Shut up! Quit acting like we're pals all of a sudden. Hurry up and go back to Tosaka's place. I don't need your help. I turn away and head towards the temple without looking back for good this time.
そう
There,
か。懐かれなくて何よりだ。
I feel a chilling premonition of death. What? Breath for it, and before I can fully manage to leap out of the way, Archer brings a sword down on me. Gah! Gah! He cuts me at the shoulder. My blood comes pouring out, and I feel like I'll pass out the moment my focus wavers. The pain is so sharp that I feel like my skin and muscles are burning. I back away with wobbly steps. I can't even flee. All my remaining strength is sapped, and it's all that I can do to remain on my feet. You!
外したか。さっき抑えきれなかった私の落ち度かとっさに反応したお前の機転か。まあどちらでも構わないが。
Archer walks toward me with his sword covered in my blood. I'll be killed. My instinct is that I'm going to die and my feet struggle to move. The temple's exit. I stagger towards the stairs beyond the mountain gate and retreat back. He must know that this is a fatal wound. His steps are unhurried. Everything is going fuzzy. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't even recall why I'm fleeing or why I was cut to begin with. It feels like my thoughts and memory are following the blood dripping from my body. Maybe I'm still conscious because of that sword he's holding. The white short sword. That plain blade holds my attention and keeps me from closing my eyes. But it comes to an end. The mountain gate is right behind me. The stairs are right there, but I can't even turn around. The moment I'm due, I'm sure Archer will split me in two.
最後だ。戦う意義のないエミやシロはここで死ね。
He raises his blade. The white yin sword is raised like a guillotine. What reason to fight?
そうだ。自分のためではなく、誰かのために戦うなど、ただの偽善だ。お前が望むものは勝利ではなく平和だろう。そんなもの、この世のどこにもありはしないというのにな。
I don't. Even as my consciousness fades, I feel defiant. But both my body and mind are at their limit.
さらばだ。理想を抱いて溺死しろ。
His voice is filled with hatred. He swings the yin sword Bakuya. Once more the blade slashes at me, this time to sever my very life. But right before that, with only the thought of defying his words, I jump backwards without thinking of the consequences. His sword cuts the air and my body flies through the air. The bottomless darkness is behind me. With a horrific sound, my body crashes into the stonework. Then it rolls down the mountain stairs.
何事？
I hear an unfamiliar voice near me.
シロ、
I also hear a familiar voice. Saber? My vision is almost gone. I attempt to lift my body, but I can only collapse and I heat back to earth.
シロ、しっかり。おのれ、ここまでの傷を負わせて、なお階段から叩き落としたのか。
Is that Saber? Saber supports my body and speaks with urgency. That's bad. I don't know their identity, but there's one other unknown servant nearby. If she's tending to me, it leaves her wide open for an attack. It's fine. Saber.
黙って。まだ間に合います。シロの回復量なら、このまますぐに帰還すれば。
She must have realized mid-sentence. She looks back at the servant behind her.
アサシ、なぜ私を撃たなかった？
それこそ無粋。刹那の花を摘むことなど誰にもできぬ。
Saber tilts her head, unable to grasp the enemy's true intention.
何？その横顔に見とれただけよ。果たし合う顔も良かったが、今の張り詰めようも捨てがたくてな。ついめでてしまったのだ。
Is that a kimono? The servant dressed anachronistically turns his back toward us.
今宵はこれで十分。立ち去るがいい、セイバー。
私たちを見逃すというのか、アサシ。
そうだ。この続き、いずれ果たすというのなら見逃そう。今のお前では満足な戦いは望めない。私とてそれは惜しい。
Saber glares at Assassin. An assassin stares calmly at Saber. Their stare down lasts for a few seconds.
わかりました、アサシ。あなたとの決着は必ず。
良い返事だ。期待しているぞ、騎士王よ。
Saber takes me in her arms and heads down the stairs. However, I see the knight in red following us from the mountain gate, determined not to let me go.
アーチャー
Saber says in wonder. He said that he kills when he can ensure it. He's a man of his word. He can't let me leave here either. Leave here alive. He swung his sword trying to kill me. I'm sure he'll do whatever he can to kill me now. The red cloak flutters like a feather. It doesn't matter whether Saber is here or not. Archer jumps down and slashes his sword. Swords flash. A counterattack like a flash of light. The intercepting blade parries Archer's sword, then makes for his neck as he hangs in midair.
アサシン貴様
Archer twists his body and lands. The knight in red is blocked by the servant in a kimono that cannot pass down the stairs.
邪魔をするつもりか侍
Archer readies his twin swords and faces the assassin class servant. With that in front of him, assassin adjusts his hold on his sword as if nothing happened.
それはこちらのセリフだ。貴様こそ見逃すといった私の邪魔をするつもりか
His voice is oddly pleasant. I don't know what his goal is, but he really intends to let us leave.
加えて私の役割はここの門番だ。生きては倒産し生きては返さん。行きは見逃したが帰りは別だ。いささか雅さにかける首だが今宵はそれで収めるとしよう。
He intends to go for the kill. Assassin's fighting spirit is as sharp as his longsword. There's no dominating presence like Archer or Saber where they're everything. There's no dominating presence like Archer or Saber where everything feels involved. His is a sharpened razor edge that precisely aims for the neck.
よく言った。セイバーに傷一つつけられなかったキャスターの手駒風情がこの俺と戦うと。
貴様こそあの女狐を驚かせようと送ったというのに我が身可愛さで逃げ帰るとは失望したぞ。
Both parties demonstrate fantastic swordmanship. Captivated by what I see. To be honest, I can't even make out assassin's sword technique. I know how to use the swordplay, but I can't make heads or tails out of it. It's too swift and deadly. The contrast is what makes me feel so fascinating. Using twin blades, Archer manages to defend himself against such intimidability. His techniques look like something even I can do someday. I don't like it. Say I'm impressed. Fighting against assassins magical swords with techniques acquired by experience and pure force of will rather than talent. It's obvious I'm strong. It's a different trick than Tosaka or Sigil. All the training he weak because he's not extraordinary. But he didn't have anything. So with those limited resources, he trained his heart out and got to that level.
シロ、今のうちにどちらにせよあなたの体は早く休ませなければ。
Saber's voice brings me back to reality. We leave Yudo Temple to save the carrier. Assassin and Archer swordplay echoed behind us without pause. My wound is almost healed up by the time we get back.
セイバーとつながってるからセイバーの治癒能力がついてきているんじゃない？
Tosaka's opinion might be correct, as my wound heals quickly when Saber's touching me.
それで一体何があったのですか、シロ。
Saber demands an explanation once we get to the dojo after treating my wound and getting changed, all without waking Fujine up. I do my best to summarize all the important points. How I was controlled by Castro and went to the temple, the coma incidents happening in town and Castro's relation to them. Archer who saved me when my command spells were about to be taken. and how Archer tried to kill me in the end. Saber seems to ponder something. I would get why she would want to organize her thoughts since all this happened in one night.
なるほど。ではアーチャーはキャスターを見逃したのですか？
Yeah, he did. He's the worst. He's no different from Castor if he's using her to win. It ticks me off when I think back to it. Dang it, I wish I'd gotten a hit on him. Then, Saber has a weird expression on her face. Saber, what's so funny?
いいえ、シロウが人の悪口を言うなんて珍しいと思いまして。まだ数日ほどしかシロウを見ていませんが、あなたはそんな風に陰口を言う人ではないと分かっていましたから。
Now that she mentions it, I have been complaining a lot. But I can't help it. Archer really gets to me. Worst of all, he made fun of Tosaka, his own partner.
そうですね。ですがシロウ、一つ尋ねますが、シロウはアーチャーの裏切りが許せないのですか？どうもあなたは彼に切りつけられたことを怒っているようには見えない。
Huh? Oh, she's right. Archer's actions would constitute betrayal. No, but that is... No. It's not like he betrayed me. I haven't made any promises with him from the start. That's why even though Archer attacked me, I think that's fair.
それはそうですが、まったくシロウは不思議ですね。
But her tone has a certain fondness to it.
結論から言うと、私もシロウと同じです。キャスターは放置できませんが、アーチャーは非道ではないのでしょう。
Huh? Hold up, what part were you listening to, Saber?
すべてです。それを踏まえた上で、私もシロウと同意見だと言っています。加えて、彼の嫌疑は清流でした。心によこしまなものがないのでしょう。舞うような剣撃は、彼の人格を物語っていると思う。
I don't like it even more now. Something's wrong with Saber to compliment him. First of all, Archer's technique is... Oh. No, I was just being delusional. He's like yogurt that's about to expire compared to Saber. What are you saying? His technique is nothing. He couldn't even kill me with a surprise attack. How could he call himself a servant?
ええ。ですからシロウも筋がいいのです。長く鍛えればアーチャーに届く技量になりましょう。
Gah. I can't object if she says so while making that face. Anyhow, Saber approves of Archer's technique. I don't know why, but I can't stand that fact. Saber, you said I have talent, right?
はい。長ずれば良い使い手となるでしょう。
I've decided. Then, can you teach me things once my wound heals? Not just how to survive, but I want to learn how to fight. I shake Saber's hand and look her directly in the eyes.
あ、はい。シロウがそう言うのでしたら構いませんが。
Alright, I have no complaints if I can study under Saber. I can't repeat the same failure as tonight, and it's not like me to keep on running away. Most importantly, I can't lose to that guy who said we need more victims in order to reduce the total number of victims. Save the game. And we will call it there for tonight. So, sorry this was so late. Hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, and have a good night. Have a good weekend. Stay safe, and try not to indulge yourself too much in the festive food. Have a good night. Bye.